Watch me turn up, roll up, yeah, you know I burn up, burn up. Woo.
Call me a bushfire, bro, because I am stoked.
Bushfire or campfire?
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, actually, that's an insanely insensitive joke. I'm sorry.
I know, right? Just after what we've been through, dude.
I was,
Dropping that shit.
Yeah. Did the bushfires cause COVID? I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I think probably, almost definitely.
Something's got to be related.
Yeah, it's too, I mean, there were Victorian bushfires. Which state of Australia is suffering the hardest from COVID?
This is true. But you know what, though? We've had some pretty bad bushfires in Tasmania. And you know what's related in Tasmania?
Everyone.
Hello and welcome. You are listening to Hobby Homies. We are your weekly wargame and board game podcast. My name's Shane. As always, I'm joined by my co-host Fox.
What's up?
This is episode 16, and we're talking about the relationships of Tasmanian people.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. I just need to do a couple Google searches. Bit of research required for this one. Shane, I want to critique you for a moment, if I may be so bold.
You may not, but go ahead.
In fact, that intro was flawless. You're fine. No problem. Let's carry on. But also, it's not just episode 16. It's episode 16 of season 2. For those tuning in and thinking we're some measly 16-episode podcast, you'd be deceived.
Oh, tricked even.
We are the great deceivers here. Yeah. I don't know how many episodes we've got actually.
If you count the beers and bands, we've got like 58 or something like that, 57.
Yeah. So yes, they are all pretty terrible, but this one is not going to be like that because we're talking about our hobby habits.
Yeah. We're pulling up a stool, grabbing a beer in the hobby corner. So we encourage you to do the same. Please make sure masks are fitted at all times and you stay 1.5 meters away because we're not going through this shit again.
It's not happening. We can't do it. I don't have the psyche or the resolve. I'm mentally, I am the weakest of our species. And somehow I've managed to pull through this 6 months, 1 year, 8 years. I don't know how long it's been. But I cannot survive another day.
No.
So,
if I'm in lockdown again, I will assassinate Dan Andrews.
Yeah. It's not even going to solve anything. But yeah. You just want to assassinate someone, let's be honest.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway. We're talking about our hobby habits. So, what kind of things do Shane and I do at our hobby table? We'll keep it PG. And yeah. It's almost like a get to know us kind of episode. What are our little, I guess, tips and tricks we use maybe? Maybe not even. What kind of stuff do we listen to? What gets us in the mood? All that kind of stuff.
I want to know what gets you in the mood, Fox.
Yeah. Oh, you'll hear, dude. You'll hear all about it. Okay. But before we get into that, we've got a couple other things going on. We got a couple of giveaways, which are pretty simple. We've got a Necron Destroyer, big bootied bitch, ready to go.
Thick boy.
All you got to do, follow us on Podbean. Jump on Podbean. hobbyhomies.podbean.com, I think is ours.
Yep.
Create an account. Give us a fat follow. We'll send you... Well, you got to win. Not everyone gets one. Someone who does that will win the big booty bitch. So
yeah, but... Once doing that, you also have to just quickly shoot us a Facebook message just saying, hey, this is me. I joined you and followed you on Podbean with this name. Just so we know who to contact if you do win. Yeah,
because we're going to see Hunter2 followed you on Podbean, but we're not going to know who that is unless you hit us up.
How do you know my RuneScape password?
You've told me. You've told everyone. You posted it. You posted it on RuneScape.
Of course.
The forums, yeah.
Buying GF.
You thought you could change us up with dropping a capital H on it, but no, we figured you out. We've also got a terrain tournament going on at the moment, which is our first painting challenge.
Yeah. That's basically what it is. It's a building, painting challenge. It can be. It's all on the
It's a challenge.
Facebook. but,
Yeah.
but it,
Yeah,
it
we'll
can
talk.
be,
We'll talk about all that afterwards, anyways.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. True.
So you said you want to know what gets me in the mood, Shane.
I do. Tell me.
Well, I do want to tell you. So I thought I'd talk first about on many hobby habits I have. Some of them strange, some of them normal. I want to talk about what actually gets me to the hobby table before I start sitting down painting the minis. What actually gets me there? What gets me motivated to do my hobby? So there's sort of three main things that get me going, get my engine revved up. Put the keys in, turn the ignition. That's me. When I see other people hobby it up. In our Discord specifically, you know, because we're connected to the Discord people. They're our mates. They're our homies.
Yeah.
When I see them getting stuff done, I don't know, it just hypes me up. I'm like, I want to get stuff done. And I think it's because one night they'll paint a mini and I'll be like, yeah, that looks good. A few nights later, they'll show me 5 minis, batch painted or completed even, or even just based. I'm like, sweet, they're plotting along with the thing. Cool. At the end of the week, they got 10 finished models. All they did was a little bit every night, and suddenly they got 10 amazing models sitting there ready to go.
That's it, dude. That's it.
And I'm like, bro, if every time, instead of just going, that looks cool, you know, chatting in the Discord, watching some NFL, YouTube, or whatever, if I'd have sat down and also hobbied along with them, you know, or done a similar thing, I'd have 10 finished painted models, you know? So seeing all that just gets me hyped.
Yeah, dude.
The second thing is like, if I'm just chilling at home, I'm not quite feeling it. There's, I guess things 2 and 3 are related. So I need to know that my hobby table's set up ready to go. If I have to sit down, pack up whatever's currently on the table, pull out the thing I want to do, set up my wet palette, get a fresh pot of paint. You know, if I have to pull out the paints I want to use, if I have to do all that, like that's, I'm on the clock, man. That's minutes wasted in my mind. And this goes back to an earlier episode we did actually called Beating Hobby Burnout, which was kind of about motivating yourself to hobby. And I mentioned it's a bit of a trick I play on myself where I think, for example, now I want to paint some sun gauze. So what I've done is I've cleared off a space, got a fresh pot of paint water, picked out a couple paints that I know I use, and I've got the sun gauze sitting there ready to go. And they just chill there until step 3. Maybe I watch some battle reports or hobby-related YouTube vids out on the couch while I'm eating dinner or whatever, and I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to go. Sorry, I don't know if you heard that through the mic, but a giant box just fell behind me.
I heard something.
And I'm not going to say it was ghosts, because some people don't believe in that. But for those that do, 100% there's ghosts in my shed. I didn't believe in that until 5 minutes ago. Anyways. So yeah, if I get hyped up by watching battle reports, like tactics videos, just kind of any hobby related stuff, or things pop up in the Discord, and I know I just walk into the shed, sit down, and everything's ready to go, that's what gets me there.
Okay. I'm gonna rewind about 15 minutes.
Okay. All right.
When you said earlier about having your hobby space
Tasmania.
ready to go,
Yep.
that can be easier said than done for a lot of people, because not everyone has a dedicated hobby space set up, and that was you until you've moved into this new place. You know, you would actually have to clear out a spot in the house or in the garage and pull everything out and set it all up. Where now you've got more of a it's still, you know, it always takes a little bit of setting up, but you've got somewhat of a pre-ready spot to go where you can just sit down and spend only maybe 5 minutes getting everything ready rather than 25 or 15, you know?
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah.
My computers, I had to pick between computer or hobby. I had one tiny little trestle, and I was a big gamer at the time, so it was almost every night I knew not only did I have to set up all the hobby stuff, but I'd have to actually pack up the computer.
Yeah.
Couldn't just shift it to the side. The table wasn't big enough for that. So it's something I realized early. If I want to get hobby done, I need a hobby space. I need to sit down, talk to the misser. I need to make whatever deals with the devil I got to do, because if I don't have a hobby space, stuff doesn't get done. And since moving into this house stuff, dude, I've done some stuff.
Yeah, man, you've been getting heaps of stuff done.
And, I'm pretty proud of it. Of it. And a big part is, like you said, I've actually got a designated hobby space. For those of you that don't, I mean, this is more about our hobby habits. So, good luck, mate.
Wow. It's like, you're basically saying that's more of a you problem than a me
It's
problem.
Seems like more of a you thing. I'm fine. I'm sitting pretty. I'm hobbing up a storm. I don't know what you're doing. But I can actually relate to the struggles of it. So, for you, hobby person with not a designated hobby space, unfortunately, you just have to, I don't know what you do. But what I used to do was just forward plan.
There are good products out there for people that have this sort of situation. Like I've seen a couple of manufacturers making like little work trays, and they've even got handles on them. So it's got a nice big cutting mat where you can do all your assembly and all that sort of stuff. Little compartments for different bits, paint holders, brush holders, even like little stands for like tablets or phones. And this thing, it's just like basically like a meals tray, right? Like a breakfast in bed kind of thing where you can just pick it up, put it in the cupboard. As long as you got a shelf free in the cupboard where you could stash it away, you'll be able to, just pick it up, pull it out, put it at the dining room table as long as everyone's not having breakfast while you're trying to do it. Then you're laughing. Yeah,
that's a good idea. I laughed. One of our Discord users and patrons, Dave, I think he paints on an ottoman in his living room. That's his hobby space.
But he gets stuff done, man.
He does get stuff done, and it's crazy. But I'm also like, dude, you actually have an entire shed dedicated to a hobby. You've got tables and shelving and stuff. But, I mean, it's one of those things. Sometimes, like me, you don't want to be outside or in a shed, a freezing cold shed, to do your hobby. Sometimes that's a massive demotivator as well.
Yeah.
I guess it's a big part is like finding your hurdles and putting things in place to overcome them. Because one of them for me was winter, shed was 3 degrees. Something that helped me overcome that was like knowing I'm about to hobby in a couple of hours when I, finish doing my whatever, put the kid down, grabbing a little foot heater from Kmart for like $20, cranking that. And when I went out there 2 hours later, the shed was on fire. So I was like, dope, now I can hobby.
Yeah, so it might also be a family thing. Like, he might hobby there because, his partner's sitting on the couch or their kids. You might want to still be spending time with your significant others and hobby. But, if they're getting in the way from hobby, you got to kick them to the curb.
You cut them loose. Cut them loose. I don't know. Honestly, I don't care what attachments you have to them, children, financial commitments like houses and stuff. It's not worth it.
Nah.
I'm not telling you to completely, cut them off and so that you can do hobby. But I'm saying if you completely cut them off, you will be able to do hobby. So take from that what you will.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah. So now I'm at the table. Now I'm motivated to the rest. Trust me, the rest of this isn't as rambly. Anyway. So, Fox, me, the character. What do I listen to? What keeps me entertained while I'm actually doing my hobby? I don't know if you guys care about that kind of thing, but I was like, that's the kind of stuff I think I would want to know. Like, I'm curious what. Pardon?
You want to know what you do?
I want to know what I do. I think that's what people would want to know. What does Fox do? No, I'm not that self-absorbed, man. Close. But like when I think of like what's interesting about someone's hobby, I'm like, what do they do while they hobby? Are there people that can just sit there in the dead silent and they just, with the silence of their own thoughts, can just hobby? No. I want to know that. Like, what do they listen to videos like I do? Am I weird? Anyway, so for me, it's mostly just like slapping on lore videos of the army that I'm doing because that really gets me going. I'm painting a Tsangor or a custodian or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing about all the cool stuff that they do. It just puts more character into the model that I'm actually holding and painting.
Yeah.
I just froth that. And tactics videos on those same armies, so I can start thinking, like, then I get hyped because I'm like, I finished this, I can put it on the table, I can do that tactic they're just talking about. Dope. And the other thing is obviously music. I got a pretty eclectic taste, so I could be listening to Linkin Park, I could be listening to some filthy fat beats. I could be listening to some Frenzy if I'm feeling some thrash metal. Check out Frenzy on Spotify.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's me, you know. That's what gets me to the table. That's what I listen to whilst I do it. As for the way I do hobby, bro, I'm a batch painter.
Oh yeah.
I can only batch paint. In fact, sometimes I do a test model, so just a singular model to try out the colors that I want to do. You know, I think everyone does a test model. Sometimes just painting that model completely kills my streak of that army. Most times, I would say.
5 hours on the test model.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Because I want to make sure, you know, this represents what in my head, this one model, you copy and paste it 30 times or 100 times, and that's what my army is going to look like. So if I do this one good, the rest will look that good, you know?
Do you think you got into the habit of batch painting is because you've always had horde armies like Tyranids, Skaven?
I think I got into batch painting for a few different reasons. One of that is what you just said. It's also because regardless of if I have a horde army, also I never buy 10 models and just paint those. I got to buy the army because I want to play the game ASAP. So next minute I got an army of 100, best case scenario, 50 models.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I do these one by one, oh my God, that would take me forever. And I'm like, and I just feel, so I paint a test model for an army. Like you said, it takes me 5-6 hours, which isn't bad for if you're painting a character or, you know, a model that you're actually putting some...
spend a lot of time in.
Yeah. But then the thing I do in my head is I go, okay, cool, that one took me 6. Or if I'm feeling good, if I use a lot of contrast paint, maybe it only took me 3. But then I look at my army or the army I want to build with it and I go, oh God. Oh dear mother of God.
There's 40 of these there alone.
There's 40 of these and they're 10% of my army.
Yeah.
And then I do the math in my head, man. I do the quick math and I go, hold up.
It's going to take 2 million hours.
It's going to take at least 3 light years. 3 parsecs. And then I'm like, and these are the troop. These are supposed to be the quick ones. What happens when I get to the elites and the characters and the big things?
Yeah.
So I have to batch. If I batch, I get stuff done, man. I batch those Necrons. I batch the Star Wars Legion stuff. You know.
Speaking of batch, this episode brought to you by Batch IPA.
Batch Brewing. Try their cranberry and coffee. It's a taste bud sensation to be sure. So, which is actually the opposite to you because you do one by one.
Yeah, it's just a habit. Like, I'll assembly line / batch paint to a certain extent, but man, it's like most of the time I'll sit there and I'll just finish one by one, which is, of course, it's the long, painful way to go, but that's the way I do it. Like I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just special, but that's just how it goes.
It's interesting because, I mean, batch painting is objectively faster.
Yeah.
Just because even if you paint the exact same way as someone else, you're switching the brush less times, you're switching the paint less times, you know?
Yeah.
You get the habit of doing a technique over and over again. You find the shortcuts and stuff, you know? Whereas when you paint single models, you know, you do a technique, but it might be 10, 30, 45 minutes, 2 hours before you do that same technique again.
Yeah.
So it is objectively slower. However, it seems the community's almost 50-50.
Yeah.
It seems like, maybe it's 64. I feel like more people batch paint slightly.
I think so too. Like, it seems to be like everyone promotes batch painting. But to me, like, I guess maybe the mental thing is like, I start a model, I finish it, I'm like, boom, 1 out of 5 done, right? Where like, if I'm batch painting, I'll be like, I've been painting all night and I haven't got one finished model. But had I just continued it, I would have been like, bam, 5 of them done. You know, like not just 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
like ticking over. So
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is, it works for you.
It does.
You can't argue that it doesn't, because sometimes the batch painter, will have plans to get, 10 models done over a week. In my head, I'll go, all right, so I'll do the leathers this week, the coats, all that stuff. And they'll get to the end of the week and have done 0.
Yeah.
And in that same week where you've just picked up a model a night for 5 of the 7 nights, you'll have a little squad of 5 intercessors or, whatever
Yeah.
done. I'll be like, holy crap, like you pumped through way more models. So if we were painting for the same amount of time, batch painting's faster, but I think there's so much more value in painting the way you enjoy, that works for you, because that's ultimately going to be faster.
Yeah.
Like if you batch painted those Space Marines, you probably would have got halfway through, gone, I've just done the reds, I've got so much more to do. There's 5 of them, I've done nothing. It's been a whole week,
Yeah.
You've realized that you get more reward out of finishing a model than you do whatever batch painters get reward out of,
Yeah. I think
time efficiency or whatever.
Yeah, I think I feel the reward, like, and it sort of keeps the ball rolling. You know what I mean? Like, you get it done, and you sort of ride on the success of that one completed miniature onto the next one.
Yeah.
Try and ride the wave.
Yeah. There you go, man. Different strokes for different folks.
That's it, dude.
So I just want to quickly touch on another thing that, again, interests me when thinking about other people's hobbies. And then I'll give you the floor. I'll stop rambling. But
Okay.
these white rabbits are going a treat, by the way.
Nice.
My most used tools. I've got a couple I just want to talk about that have blown my mind of how much they're a staple to me.
Okay.
The first one is the Army Painter tones. Dark tone, soft tone, strong tone.
Oh, yeah, okay. More so than GW's washes, you reckon?
I froth GW's washes for their colours, but I've also just never found a time where I need them.
No, I mean like Agrax, Noan Oil, and Sepia.
Yeah, which are... I'm glad you mentioned those, because obviously they're I would say, the closest colour match. But yeah, definitely. And I don't know why, to be honest.
Okay.
I found that in the past, using those Citadel ones, I feel like they cover better. I like how they're a little bit more watery. They seep into the gaps better.
Yep.
But I just don't know. I think there's something about those Army Painter ones I like more. Is it the finish? I feel like when I paint it over colors, it keeps more of the original color intact instead of putting a sepia over it.
Okay. Yep.
I feel like calling them tones is more accurate, because it does feel like I'm changing the tone of the model and not the colors.
Yep.
If that makes sense. It kind of, I use them with Vallejo Flow Improver, which is the second one of my staple items.
Yep.
It's designed to help paint go through an airbrush, it flow nicer, but it's also a bit of a paint retarder, which means it retards the paints.
It slows them
It's a
from
retard.
drying.
The Borat's new movie's coming out. That feels relevant. But I just use it with bloody everything now, man. Everything.
Okay.
I love it's a great thinner. I never, if I put a paint on a wet palette, I'm not going to touch it.
No.
But every other time I'm using paints, I'm putting Flow Improver with it, because the paint dries. What's the opposite of quicker?
Slower.
There we go. Slower. So then I've got more freedom with it, but especially with those tones, it means I can mix it 50-50, strong tone Flow Improver, slap it all over the model, and then go over the model again and just take it all off the top edges and give it nice smoother transitions. I can move it around and play with it more, because the tones aren't drying as quick.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, that and my everlasting wet palette. I mean, it doesn't matter what brand it is, but just not having to construct my own wet palette has been huge for me in all things.
It's so
getting to so good, man.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you are good at making your own wet palette and it does the same thing, I just feel like I use a palette so much, just like paintbrushes. You use them so much spend the money.
Yeah.
That's my mind, anyways.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, those are my hobby habits, dude. That's what gets me to the table, what I do when I'm there, what tools I use, how I do it. It's a pretty good summary, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I reckon so, dude.
That's Fox.
Mine aren't, like, I didn't sort of go through a what gets me to the table kind of thing that like you did, because I can get myself to the table, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, I know what you're saying. I do, man. I so envy your drive.
Yeah,
I feel like even when you're not feeling it, you can just sit down and do it.
Yeah, true. It's because, well, I don't know why. I don't. I feel guilty if I don't paint. I feel guilty if I don't hobby in some way. Like,
Yeah.
I'll sit there playing a video game and I'll be like, what am I doing? I should be painting something.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah. But I need something. I can't just sit there with my own thoughts. I need something playing in the background while I'm hobbying.
Yeah.
There's things that I like absolutely can't do while I'm hobbying. Like I can't really watch a show that I want to really watch. Like some people can, like, you know, I haven't seen this movie, I'll put it on while I paint, right? That doesn't work for me. If I really want to watch something, I can't hobby at the same time because I find myself either paying too much attention to the movie or too much attention to the miniature. You know, it's not like an easy 50-50. So some things I might like rewatch something that I can sort of just listen to, you know, like I've started rewatching like The Walking Dead, and for the first like 7 seasons, I can sort of just listen to it. I know what's going on, right?
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So that works for me. But if it's something I haven't seen before, absolutely no way can I try and watch it while I'm trying to hobby.
Yeah. You just don't take it in, man. It's like when you read a book and you read the same sentence like 3 times and it doesn't sink in. You have to keep going back.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that with a YouTube clip. You keep hitting that 30 seconds back button and you're like, maybe I'll get it this time. But no.
Yeah, because you like look up and you go like, wait, what the fuck's happening? Or you're painting and you're watching too much and the paint dries in the end of your brush or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my one thing I've been watching lately, like I've been finding a lot of rabbit holes on YouTube, and I started watching one channel. It's these Irish blokes, and they're building a Celtic roundhouse right in the middle of the forest.
That is a rabbit hole, dude. That's a rabbit hole if I've ever heard one.
Dude, and like they're building it with all Iron Age tools and stuff like that. Like, it's fucking hilarious. Like, it's so funny. But each episode goes for like half an hour, right? And I'm like up to episode 10 or something. And they just dig the first episode, they like dig out the foundations, and then the next one they like lay, like it's all drywall, right? Dry stone wall. So it's just like they're just piling rocks on each other, and then if you're interested in that kind of stuff, like they're called smooth gefixed, GEFIXT.
Hold up. Smooth. What is it?
GEFIXT.
I wrote smooth gef and it auto-filled.
Yeah.
So that's good. Oh,
yeah.
Damn.
So,
this looks
so check it out later. But it's funny, like that when they swear, right? They beep it. They censor it, right? But instead of using the old stock standard like tone that they use to censor things, they've like recorded it themselves, and they're like, oot, like that. And I'm like, and like for a while, I'm like, what the fuck is that noise? What? And then there was one bit when something happened and they're swearing like a shitload, and then they're going like oot, eat, and like all these different noises, and I'm like, they're making that noise with their mouth, like, and like editing it over, and but yeah.
Damn, dude, that's awesome.
They're just these 2 Irish flags. They're so funny,
bro. We've got to do that.
Oh yeah, dude.
After this app, I mean, we swear so much. I don't know how you find the time to go through the app, but we could beep a few. We could do some little.
It reminds
beeps.
me of our episode when we were back into the studio, the Test of Honor one, after the first wave of COVID, when Churchy beeped me at the start with you going beep. Do you remember that?
That's awesome. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
Yeah, but that's like one thing I've been
it.
watching lately to like get me into the sort of the mood, I suppose, or to keep me going while I'm hobbying, because it's sort of something you can listen to for the most part and just like glance up every now and then.
It's so unrelated to hobby as well. So
yeah, I don't know. I just froth that kind of shit, man. Like I love watching people like make stuff with like just just not like power saws and drills and nails, and they're like using hand drills to like, and then like bashing in big dowels to like hold stuff together, and the dude's carving like a bowl, and like it's just it's pretty sick.
it is pretty sick. I was about to be like, we should do something like that. Just go out to like Churchy's or something and start building.
Hell yeah.
And then I saw that they have these like, it looks like it's half made out of stone.
Yep.
An Iron Age roundhouse, and I saw all these boulders and I'm in their like thumbnails. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just have beers at Churchy's.
Yeah, dude, these blokes spend hours doing this. They've got a mule which they use to like tow the rocks back to their little camp. His name's Thomas.
Okay, good old Thomas.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff when, I don't know, I feel like they must have won the lottery or inherited a bunch of money, and people are like, you don't have to work anymore. You can just do whatever you want. And they're like, sweet, let's do this. You know?
Yeah, I just think they own a block of land, and they just go up there every like weekend or whatever, or they spend like a couple of weeks there at a time. They just camp there. Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. The other thing that I like to watch while I'm hobbying is BatReps, like mini wargaming. They've got theirs. They've got the Vault as well, which is like a paid sort of thing, like $6 a month, and you can watch like just bulk content when it comes to hobby. That's well worth its weight there.
You're a Vault member, aren't you?
Yeah. I don't watch it as often as I should, especially to get the value of it, but it supports them as well, like they've got, if we can ever go to Canada, like we got to go there, because it's just like, they just built like a hotel and turned it into like hobby, like there's all the rooms are like themed.
That's so good.
Yeah, and there's like bat report rooms where you can go in there, and then again they're all themed, and man,
it's basically the dream. Like when you imagine, if you're a hobby enthusiast and you're like, what would I do if I didn't have to work? Like if just the rest of life was free, you'd be like, oh, I'd have themed rooms for all my different games. I'd have just like every army painted up, 10,000 points of each, so I could just pick whatever I want. I'd play games. I'd film battle reports. They just do that, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But it's also a huge enterprise, so it's one of those things, man. Like if they don't have Vault members, I mean, we're not an ad for them by any means, but we can appreciate the value of lots of people chipping in for an effort.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. It's like our patrons helping us, keep this podcast rolling and producing extra episodes every week, and that.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it without them.
There was a few times where I was like, it's mini wargaming. They're the biggest like hobby channel on YouTube. They don't need my $6. I'm a Vault member also now, and like you, I actually haven't. I can't remember the last time I watched a video from theirs, to be honest.
Yeah.
6 months maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I don't know. That's $6 that's worth it in my mind, and I just cancelled Stan.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
That's one.
Dude.
I'll watch one less video a month on Stan and support a channel that because if there was no content for this, oh man, it would suck.
Yeah.
Think of how many people get motivated watching mini wargamer videos, BatReps and stuff. Yeah. Anyway.
Exactly. But the YouTube is a wealth of like content when it comes to creators in our hobby. Another one which you guys have to check out if you're into terrain is Eric's Hobby Workshop. He's he used to be a small channel. He's growing now. He's got over 30,000 subs, but he just makes incredible terrain, and most of it is 40k themed. So it's all like sci-fi, industrial ruin. He did a big desert map where he got like a canvas sheet, right, and he's like textured it, and you can roll it up like a gaming mat.
Damn.
and he built like all these rocky cliffs. Like, think of like the American desert where there's those big, what do they call them? Mesas or something. I don't know how to pronounce it, but the big, like, just massive stone, like, monoliths, basically, right?
Damn.
He built a whole bunch of them, and yeah, it's just sick.
I'm just on his channel now, as I like to do when you mention someone, and it reminds me a lot of your early terrain.
Yeah, his is just a lot better. Like,
I mean,
10
that was
times
pretty
better.
good. Yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, it kind of reminds me if you had have kept doing that kind of stuff instead of doing the rest of your hobby life, you know, it's just using stuff you have around the house. That's all he's doing. He's finding bits like Milo tins and
Man, and like he goes to like basically the American version of like an op shop and just like picks up like kids' toys for like fuck all and just cuts them up and then adds, you know, bits of plasticard and foam board and corrugated cardboard to make it look like tin and just turns it into like, industrial ruins. It's just insane.
Does that get you, when you watch his videos, is that what gets you hyped for like bases and terrain and stuff?
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Like, could you be painting a blood angel and watching his videos at the same time, or would you just be like, I've just got to go do some basing?
I could. It just goes in the old memory bank, man, for when I'm next doing terrain or bases. I just try and remember like what he was doing or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like there's just so many out there. Like if you start on YouTube, start with like Mini Wargaming, Eric's Hobby Workshop, Miniac. There's a few there, and just keep exploring. There's a lot of like smaller creators as well, which are insane. Like there's another one called the Terrain Tutor, which he's blown up now. He's huge, but he makes a lot of like historical terrain, more like World War II sort of stuff.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
You are right though. It feels like because our hobby, it's, you know, it's bigger than it's ever been, but it's also still quite niche. There's some great channels that I stumble across when I'm like listening to lore, and it's got like a couple thousand subs.
Yeah.
Which in the YouTube world is nothing, but I mean that's still a lot of people. You know, 1,000 people that go, I want to hear about when this person, you know, releases content.
Yeah, exactly,
in just like
dude.
your general day-to-day, that's a pretty reputable person.
Yep.
So I think in our hobby, it's definitely worth like sussing those small channels.
Yeah, and you got to give them support too, because like without them, you know, we don't have a lot, and you know, eventually they might grow into bigger, more successful channels with a couple 100,000 subs. But there's really no one in our hobby which has like just insane numbers like a lot of other YouTubers, like, you know, up in the millions. You know,
it doesn't happen.
Nah, but if you see someone with 100,000 subs, they are big. Like, they are popular, you know?
Do you reckon... Nah, that's a bit of a tangent. I was going to say, who do you reckon's like the most sub to? Would it be Mini Wargaming?
Ooh, good question. It'd have to be Mini Wargaming or Miniac, I reckon. They're the two biggest.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone up there.
No.
Mini Wargaming has 100k more than Miniac.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, that's basically our little hobby. What do we call it? Hobby habits, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of sums up what we do, how we do hobby, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the episode you never asked for. Let's be honest. It's just info about me and Shane.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought in my head, I'm like, I always want to know how other people do it. Do they batch paint? What do they listen to? What motivates them? So yeah, hopefully this helps you guys in some way.
Yeah. 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 So like we said earlier, we've got a terrain tournament going on. It's on Facebook. All you got to do is just take a photo of your terrain. It can be MDF kits, plastic kits, 3D printed, scratch built, however it is. Just take a photo of it as it is, post it on there before you get started on it, and then give us a progress picture and one while it's done, and then we'll judge it. with we've got 5 sort of categories, and prizes, dank prizes.
Dank prizes. And just quickly to touch on what you said, Shane, about we're not super anal. We want the goal of this is actually just to, reward people for doing some hobby. That's what the prizes are for. Also, just to motivate you guys to get stuff done, because you posting pictures of it, as you've learned, motivates us.
Yeah.
So we're not. If you send us something and it's got like a dab of paint on it, or you're like, oh, I put a base coat of red on this little barrel here, but the rest of it's, we don't mind. Submit that, finish that off. We don't want to see half painted stuff. Obviously, that gives you an unfair edge. But yeah, we want to see a basically not started at all. Maybe 10 minutes of stuff put into it. Whatever. Get that thing done.
Yeah.
If you need motivation, definitely check out those channels that Shane was referencing earlier, because I've just hit a couple of those up and subbed to them because they're bloody phenomenal, man.
Oh yeah, and this is gonna be perfect too. If you're building terrain, watching these dudes build terrain, it's gonna get all the juices flowing, and you're gonna get some crazy stuff done. Like, you'll learn so much out of one video from all of these guys. It can be as simple as like Eric's Hobby Workshop. He has this incredible paint chipping and weathering technique that he does, and then he waters down paints and then puts like rust streaks. You got to watch it. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, man. It's getting me motivated, which is good because I've got bulk terrain.
Oh yeah, you too. You got the Dark Uprising, dude.
I got an entire Dark Uprising box of terrain that I need to do.
Yeah.
There's a couple because ours is so our terrain tournament finishes when November finishes. Basically, it's a spring. Is it spring? It's spring.
Spring. Yeah.
We're gonna have 4 yearly painting hobby challenges. They will go for the entire season. There'll be prizes at the end of those. This is the spring one, so therefore it ends end of November. There's only a week left of the TCG podcasts painting challenge.
Yep.
So I'm going to quickly try and scratch that up before I hit mine, because I got a month to do that. So
yeah, true. I should get stuck in some Necrons for that too.
Yeah. We got some stuff to do.
Yeah.
We've also got the giveaways we mentioned earlier, which is the Necron Destroyer. You'll know what that is. The information for that's on the Discord, Facebook. You can get all that through hobbyhomies.com. But let's hit some patrons, dude, because without them, we couldn't do any of this. Literally none of it. Man.
And this has been huge for patrons for us. Like, we've cracked 20. We've got 21 now. It's just, our minds are actually blown. And so we thank you guys. I know we say it every week, but we mean it so much.
Yeah, we've been absolutely speechless in messages to each other because, the last few weeks particularly have just been madness. And there's been a few messages where it's just like us talking and then dead silence as we try to wrap our brains around how many people have gotten, willing to put their hard-earned dollars into supporting us, which, like Shane just mentioned, we can't thank them enough.
No. So, massive shout out to these guys. We've got Final Dinosaur. He's our homie from Belgium. One of our earliest patrons, I believe. He's getting real keen on Legion at the moment.
Yes.
So that might encourage us to get stuck back into it, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I'm loving seeing it.
Oh, yeah, man. It gives me a reason to get my Imperials done.
Your imps.
The heroes of the galaxy.
Oh, hold on a minute. I can't remember what Final Dinosaur is getting around. He's
like, he asked about Boba Fett.
Yeah.
He's like, is he Imperial? And I'm like, fuck yeah, he is. And then you linked him the bloody...
That's
other
right.
guys that aren't Imperials.
Yep. We were trying to wrestle him each over to our respective sides.
Yeah.
But I think Final, you know what to do. But a super special thank you to Final. You've been with us. You're an OG. You're a GOAT. Thanks, man. You're the best.
Join the dark side, Final. Foggy Highway, our wise old wargamer. His hobbies and skills are vast. Currently, he's been hitting a lot of Test of Honor, Game of Thrones, and he's been painting a sweet dragon in red, the best color to paint a miniature.
Yeah. Yep. He's I actually just saw Foggy today, which is cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we traded off some little hobby tips with each other. I'm super keen to see his dragon. Apparently, he's done some more stuff to it since he's posted his last picture. So,
Oh, he's keeping that under wraps.
I know. I thought he'd been a bit quiet. I was like, where are the updates?
Yeah.
He did send us. He's always just got like a large collection of like super dope, super sweet relics almost,
Yeah.
and his Star Wars ones in particular are dope.
Oh man, and like when he said you got them all for like $10, like back in the 80s.
Yeah,
I remember
jealous.
Rad was just blown away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, man, that's like it's just like back then it was a popular movie, yeah, but it's like buying. I mean, I guess you'd compare it to like what's popular now, like Marvel or something, right? Like,
yeah,
you buy something of that, it may or may not have value, and later on down the track, like you see something like that, and you're just absolutely blown away by it. So,
yeah. It was sweet. It was sweet.
yeah, dude. And our third member of this little group's been a bit quiet lately, Churchy. He's been hitting it up real hard on Twitch. I've been seeing him on Discord playing a lot of different games, so I've got absolutely no idea what his latest video is going to be about.
Yeah.
But I'm keen. He was hitting it outward for so long, but now I think he's changing his ways there, and he's playing something else, which is going to be sick. Like a lot of KOTOR, the old Star Wars, and Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah, that was a banger of a game back in the day.
Oh man, that's a banger of a game now. That's
Yeah,
just
true.
that's just one of those all timers, That's an Ocarina of Time esque
True.
game.
True.
Which
just lasts.
yeah, it's timeless.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got Dave, tournament organizer Dave, the builder of lists. Fox, you know a little bit more about me, but tell me about the TA group.
Yes, I will. So, Dave and his mate Lachlan have been doing tournaments together and organizing things, and basically they've sort of rebranded what they do. So people probably hear us talk about the 40K League. That's ran by Dave, but a tournament that they run together called the 40K Town Open. Geelong Town Open, sorry, is a collaborative effort between them. Anyways, they sort of rebranded what they do into Target Acquired, which their full name is Target Acquired Tabletop Wargaming Geelong. You can find that page on Facebook. And so the plan is start doing, when they run events and stuff like that in the future, because they've got such a high caliber of the way they organize events, but also their tables and everything, they're all going to do it under their Target Acquired banner now. So
Yeah, sick.
So that's cool. Dave's got some huge plans for the 40K League this year, obviously. Hit a giant snag, that being it required people to play games against other people at a time where we weren't allowed to see other people.
Yes.
Games are sort of kicking back up now, and it's almost back in full swing, but, he's got big plans for next year. So thanks for supporting us, Dave. We hope to talk more about what you've got going on when it starts happening.
Hell yeah.
On our beers and banter and when we cover local stuff. So thanks, Dave.
Yeah. Big thank you to Rory. Again, he's been supporting us for quite a while now. Not a lot of hobby coming out of Rory. Well, I mean, I suppose fishing is a hobby. He's been hitting the Geelong waterfront, catching bulk squid for the last week solid. I'm absolutely filthy because I'm not allowed to go down there to fish because of the Melbourne Ring of Steel, which is coming down soon. So we've already teed up, hiring a boat and fucking off out in the bay to catch some fish.
Yeah, man, that'd be dope. I don't really like fishing on account of being so terrible at it, and also just being a general animal lover. But I don't mind being I'll go on a fishing trip. Hell yeah, beers on a boat. Sign me up,
dude.
Yeah. Y'all can do whatever you like with those weird sticks with strings on them. But yeah, I've seen a few pictures of the stuff that him and Stewie have caught, and I'm like, how do you throw a line in the ocean and catch a creature?
Yeah,
so they're pretty good at it.
Are you there? Oh,
I'm back.
We lost him.
Hello?
Oh, we lost you for a second then. What happened?
Oh, bro. I was my screen went all weird, and my little I think I accidentally bumped the back of my audio interface. Anyways, technical difficulties is the best way to sum it up.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back. Yep.
You're back. All right, sick. Got Caitlin. Thank you, Caitlin. She hasn't been doing a lot of hobby either, but she's been doing these diamond paintings, which apparently it's the new craze. Everyone in the office at work is doing them.
Oh, there you go.
It's like it's like a big picture, and there's like tiny little grids, and they've got like symbols or numbers on there. And what you do is those numbers relate to a color of like these little plastic diamondy things, and you stick it on there, and it's like one after the other, and eventually it creates a picture, which is it's pretty cool. She showed me every day how much she's done. I'm like, it looks the same as last time. I suppose now I know how she feels when I show her a miniature. I'll be like, check it out, I've just highlighted this, and she goes, yep, okay, cool.
Doesn't it though? I do that to myself sometimes. I take a series of photos of my minis at different stages, and I look through. I'm like, what did I do here?
Yeah.
What warranted this photo? Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that's it. And Rad Rooster, he's been killing it with his orcs lately. He's painted a couple of weird boys. I think they're weird boys. And the one in particular, the globe between the staff and the smoke, it's just absolutely insane. Like, it just blew my mind when he posted that in the Discord.
It looks so good the way the light is behind the smoke. Like, I don't know. I don't have the brain to think of those things, but that looks awesome.
No, I couldn't do it if my life depended on it. I would just like paint it white, hit it with a wash, and if it didn't work, I'd just get mad and stop painting it.
I'd be like, it's done now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Exactly,
looks dope.
dude.
We've also got Arkham Leper, who's been doing some dope as fuck, like, wood techniques on these Blood Bowl wagons, where he's like painted all these different colors down and then gone over it with a contrast paint.
Like pinks and greens and yellows. I'm like, he showed it. I'm like, what am I looking at here? And then he put the wood over it. I was like, huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally. When I saw all the colors down, I was like, it must be a Blood Bowl thing that I just don't understand. There's a lot of colors going on. I'm like, I mean, it looks nice and bright. I mean, I don't really understand it, but each to their own. And then he finished it off with and it just had the wood has so many different tones underneath it. It's just it's real cool.
That's a skill that he's obviously just developed over the years that he's been in the hobby, and like, just to even like come up with something like that, it's just absolutely insane. So yeah.
And the cool thing is, now everyone else in the Discord, myself included, when we think wood, we'll think of that as a technique we can use.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Which is cool. We've also got Whack the Ewok, who's been busy recently growing himself a thick, manly beard, which some would argue is the greatest hobby of all.
It's thick. It's very Viking-esque.
Yes, he's got a Viking appeal to him for sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's also been doing some hobby, just not posting it. And I've seen it. There's a little sneak peek, so I appreciate that. It looks great. It all looks great. His beard included. Yeah. We've also got Joe. Joe is not hobbyist. He's a mate of mine. So I just wanted to thank him for supporting me, his homie, his mate. We know you don't hobby at all, but you sure are a homie. So I appreciate you, Joe. You're a top bloke. We'll play video games soon. I want to play Green Hell with him because I think he would just lose his mind at it. That'd be dope.
Yeah,
He'd get so frustrated, it would be amazing.
Yeah.
We got Lethal, who just showed us a picture earlier today of his Star Wars Legion dewback, and it looks phenomenal. If we were scoring this bad boy out of 10, it'd get an 11, because, I mean, it looks great, but he also used duck egg green, so he gets extra point for that.
Yeah, yep.
Classic. We've got MJ, who's been killing it with the Test of Honor minis. She painted about 10 minis over the weekend, I think. And she's the sole reason that I've done any Test of Honor. I built 15 Ashigaru and started planning out a board just because of her constant updates. So thank you, MJ.
When she posted those, she was like, are the bases too much? Are they too overgrown? But no, they looked perfect. Like,
they were awesome.
Yeah, that's one thing that I'm hanging to paint my Testamona miniatures for, is how vibrant and lush I can actually make the bases, because vibrant and lush bases, unless it's Catachan, they don't fit in 40k. Everything's just dead.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
yeah, I'm
And
keen to do that.
For sure. The cool thing about, like, people think because it's historical Japan, kinda, that it has to be, like, historically accurate. But Japan goes from, like, the south, where it's warmer climates, all the way to the north, where it's snowing. Like, there's so much variety. It's a huge country, just like Australia. Whatever you put on a base is going to exist somewhere.
Yeah.
And especially in your story. So, yeah, I thought they were perfect too. I loved them.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
We've also got Burnsy, who's been hitting his elder in a... I don't know how to pronounce this. I think it's Bealtan. Bealtan?
Yeah, Bealtan's how I pronounce it, but I could be very wrong.
We'll probably just made so many people angry.
No.
But it's like the white and green schemes. Yeah, we do it often. Now he's a newer Patreon, and I can't wait to paint his minis, because he's given me a scheme, but I've got some techniques that I've never done that I'm frothing to try on his mini.
Ooh,
so
nice.
Burnsy,
Nice, dude.
you doomed yourself. I asked, do you want an exact color match for your current army? And he said, doesn't have to be exact. That's all I needed. But thank you for your support, Burnsy. You're a true homie. It was good catching up with you the other week. Sorry, Shane, about talking about me hanging out with people.
Don't. I'm so mad. Let's just keep going.
All right, it's Elko's next. His Stormcast boys are looking sick. What I like is that the Stormcast Eternals are a pretty standard army, but his unique colors is just the blue just pops, man. I didn't realize he'd been doing so much, but he posted a picture the other day of all these. I don't know how many there were, but they were all done. They all looked amazing. So hopefully you showed Test Dummy, who's boss, a few times on the tabletop with him, man.
Oh man, I actually looked back, and like when he first joined the Discord, he in like 1 or 2 nights he built the whole like Soul Wars box set, plus the other one, which I think it's like Tempest something. Like just in like one sitting almost, like just insane. And he's already powering through painting heaps of them, so that's sick.
Boom.
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy. I envy that grind.
Yeah.
Now we got a new Patreon. This came in today for us. This is Aggro.
He's made it in clutch with the episode recording, dude.
Yeah, the timing. Yeah, about an hour ago. Good on him. Yeah. He must have known. Thanks, Aggro. Aggro's been streaming some 40k games in our Discord, and it's been an absolute treat. So they've been jumping in Tabletop Simulator. He's been loading in his Blood Angels army, and we've just loved having him in the Discord. And I enjoyed like tuning in and just kicking back with some beers, watching him and his mate Benno just banter, you know?
Yeah.
It's been dope. It's like looking into a little crystal ball.
That's hilarious, man. Like I saw him the other night as well, and yeah, absolute blast. Like before I knew it, man, I was in there for like 4 hours. The time just flew by. I was just sitting there building and painting, and these blokes are playing each other, having an absolute ball. So strongly encourage that, guys. If you see those guys in there, jump in, say hello, watch the game. It's such good fun.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I was like, I got 10 minutes. Like, I just fed my baby boy. I could bring him in here and we could watch the game together. And I was in there for a couple of hours as well. I was like, damn, this is just a fun time. So thanks, Aggro. We've appreciated having you in the Discord. You've been a gift to us, let alone putting some coins, some doubloons behind it as well. So thank you.
Exactly. So massive thank you to all our patrons. Couldn't keep doing this without you guys. And make sure you tune in next week. We've got the live episode, which comes the first Wednesday of every month, 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, Melbourne time. If that makes it easy for you, we play games. We have giveaways. It's always good fun. So jump in the Discord, jump in the live channel around 5 minutes to 7, and we'll be in shortly after. And
yeah. It's a dope time, absolutely. It's overdue as well, because I think was there 5 Wednesdays in this month, or am I tripping?
That was That was the last one, I think.
Oh, I'm still recovering from it. It's throwing me out of whack.
Yeah.
It's throwing me out of whack. But yeah, the live episodes go off. It's so great interacting with all the people in the Discord. But until then, stay safe and hobby hard. We've been Hobby Homies. I've been Fox.
I've been Shane.
Peace.
Watch me turn up, roll up, yeah, you know I burn up, burn up. Woo.